The attached presentation slides will show you a detailed insight into the business environment and the organisational structures and responsibilities of various organisations, and I have also incorporated this into the company I work for, Dexel. Dexel is a logistics business, and I will talk about interrelationships within the business, which will be shown in more detail in the slides below. They will also show how companies interact with shareholders, changes in the market force and their impact on organisations. Business environment introduction. The attached presentation will show you a detailed insight into the business environment and the responsibilities of various organisations, how they interact with shareholders, changes in market forces, their impact on organisations and how different departments liaise with one another. Slide 1 talks all about the different structures found within organisations. Organisational structure refers to how a company arranges its people, roles, responsibilities, decision-making processes and reporting lines. Choosing the right structure is integral to any business. You have a functional structure. These are a group of people who expertise or have a department, example finance, HR, operations, marketing. It works by employees reporting to an head of each department, and each department will handle its area of expertise. Advantages of this are employees have clear roles and accountability, functional expertise. The disadvantages are there can be slow communication between departments, less flexible and slower to respond to change. Then you have a divisional structure. The organisation is divided into semi-autonomous units, each responsible for a product line region within UK, Europe and different divisions. Advantages are it's faster decision making, closer to the customer, flexibility to adapt to markets, clear profit and loss per division. The disadvantages, there could be a duplication of resources and they may compete with each other and work together. Then you have the matrix structure. Employees report to two managers, usually one finance and one project manager. Advantages that it encourages different departments to work together, efficient use of more skilled employees, good for driving different projects. The disadvantages are that it could be confusing as the employees have two managers to report into. Could be a conflict between the managers. What is most important, and there could also be slower decision making if it's not managed correctly. Slide 2. This goes on still about the structures. This is called flat horizontal structure. This has minimal management layers. Teams are self-managed. The advantage to this are you can make faster decisions, highly flexible and innovative. Employees have greater responsibility. These disadvantages are it can become chaotic without clear leadership, hard to scale as the company grows. Managers could become overloaded. Hierarchical structure. This is a traditional structure with multiple levels of management and a clear chain of command. The advantages to this are there will be clear reporting lines and control, defined career paths, and this works well in our environments needing consistency. The disadvantages are you could get slow communication, employees may feel less empowered. Then you have the network structure. Core business activities are done internally, which non-core functions are outsourced. The advantages of this is it is very flexible, lower internal costs, ability to use especially with external expertise. The disadvantages are that you have to rely on a third party. It's harder to control service quality and can create integration issues. Slide 4. I've now done a diagram of a organisational situation structures explained, which explains it all in detail. You also have team-based structure. Teams are formed around projects, products and granted high autonomy. The advantages of this, it can be very collaborated, faster innovation and high employee ownership. The disadvantages are it can lack clarity of authority, risk of duplicated work or rework. Which strict structure is best, you will ask? This would depend on the size of the organisation, complexity of operations, industry and need for agility versus control. The organisation structure, as I've shown you in the picture, will explain it all in more detail when I hand these slides out. Slide 5. This is all about the purposes and responsibilities of organisations across different sectors. Organisations operate in different sectors of the economy, public, private and voluntary, and each one has a distinct purpose, responsibilities, funding and stakeholders. Private sector organisations are owned by individuals, shareholders or groups. They can range from a sole trader or multinational companies. Their main purpose is to report on the financials of the business to owners or shareholders, improve quality and reduce their costs to stay competitive. They need to show growth by increasing their market share and keep their current customers happy, along with trying to gain new ones. Their key responsibilities are to be legally compliant with health and safety, employment law, tax and industry obligations, accountable to shareholders, financially responsible for accurate reporting, investment and managing risk and the welfare of the employees by having good working conditions, supply training where needed and make sure staff are paid fairly. They also have a social responsibility, contribute to the environment and community. Examples of these are supermarkets, fashion shops, delivery and distribution firms, manufacturing businesses. Then we have the public sector organisations. These are funded and controlled by the government at national or local levels. Their main purpose is to provide essential public services, healthcare, education, policing and transport, maintaining infrastructure like roads, utilities, public safety and emergency services, making sure through regulation and law enforcement and social support that it is fair, also support the economy, making sure it is stable. Slide 6 still talks about the responsibilities of organisations, and the key responsibilities are making sure they justify their decisions and spending to the public, make sure we get value for money and avoid any waste, meet certain standards and be consistent with this, making sure services are available to all groups within the society. Clear communication is made about operations, decisions and performance. Examples of these organisations are NHS trusts, local councils, HMRC, public schools and universities. Voluntary third sector organisations. These include charities, community groups and social enterprises. They do not make profit and often rely on donations and grants. Their main purpose is to address social issues like poverty, homelessness and provide services for communities, mentoring and welfare support. They are advocate for vulnerable groups and they also raise awareness and promote social justice. Their key responsibilities are ensuring donations and grants are spent effectively. They keep up their ethical standards by protecting beneficiaries, handling data sensitively and safeguarding practices. Training, support and safe working environments which are managed by volunteers. They have the trust of the public and are accountable for reporting any issues, financial information, and they also comply with charity regulations. Examples of charities are British Red Cross, food banks and social enterprises. Next slide is comparison of organisational sectors. It shows you all the private sector. Purpose is profit and growth, market competitiveness, responsibilities legal compliance, corporate governance, social responsibility. Then you have the public sector. Public purpose is the public services and infrastructure. Responsibilities, public accountability, efficient spending, equity and access. Common responsibilities are the voluntary sector. Purpose, social causes, community support. Ethical practices, volunteer management and transparency. Slide 8. How organisations fulfil their responsibilities to stakeholders. Organisations have a wide range of stakeholders, individuals or groups who are affected by or have an interest in the organisation's activities. To operate effectively, ethically and sustainably, companies must understand and fulfil their responsibilities to each group. Below is a structured analysis on how this would be done. Responsibilities to shareholders, owners. Shareholders expect financial performance, good governance and long-term value. How organisations will fulfil these responsibilities are financial transparency, publish annual reports, disclose key financial information, have audited accounts. Sound governance, risk management systems and be compliant. Profit and growth, make investments where necessary, manage costs. Ethical behaviour, avoid practices that can expose the company's reputation or legal risk. This matters because poor governance can reduce investor confidence and damage long-term value. Summary of the previous slides. Organisations fulfil stakeholders' responsibilities through transparency, ethical behaviour, compliance with laws, fair treatment of people, sustainable and responsible practice, good communication. There's also a graph on this slide which gives you it in more detail. The next slide talks about department interrelationships in Dexel Logistics. Different functions and interrelations for the rest of the topic I've based on the research on the company I work for, which is a logistics business called Dexel. So the next chart shows you all about Dexel interpersonal relationships with Dexel Logistics, and talks about sales, IT, operations, finance, human resources, marketing, R&D, and shows you how each one supports one another within the business. Introduction. Organisations are structured around a variety of specialised departments, each performing essential functions. While each department has unique responsibilities, effective performance relies on strong interdepartmental relationships and coordinated workflow. Below will show the core functions of each department. Finance. They'll be involved in budgeting, forecasting and financial planning, cash flow, payroll coordination and expenditure control, producing management accounting packs for the board each month, ensuring the company is up to date with all of its compliance, e.g. corporation tax, PAYE, NI and VAT obligations. Then we have human resources. These are responsible for recruiting, onboarding and workforce planning, training, development and performance management, employee mental health and compliant with employee legislation. Operations. Service levels of delivering of goods are efficient, workflow, logistics and quality control, health and safety compliant, continuous improvement. Then we have IT. All departments are responsible for this, GDPR and technical support. R&D is all to do with marketing, sales team identify the customer's needs. Each department within our business plays a distinct but interdependent role. Effective communication is key across all functions to ensure efficient operations and strong organisational performance. Interdepartment relationships help align our organisational resources in achieving the same goals and meeting the customer's needs. The next slide is the structural improvement proposal for Dexel Logistics. We have a recommended change that would strengthen accountability, speed of decision making and cross-functional alignment, particularly important for a growing logistics organisation. Number 1, move to a clearer 3-tier operating model. Current challenge, this is common in logistics groups. Too many issues escalate to senior leadership. Middle layers lack empowerment. Fragmented visibility across operations, finance, commercial and compliance. Proposed structure for Dexel. Tier 1, strategic leadership. CEO, COO, CFO, CHRO. Focus on growth, partnerships, governance, future capacity and risk. Tier 2, functional and regional leadership. Operations director, regional managers, finance manager, HR manager, commercial manager, compliance manager. Focus on performance, cost control and service KPIs. Next slide is Tier 3, site management and specialists. All to do with depot managers, fleet and maintenance, health and safety, workforce planning, transport planning. Why this helps Dexel. Accountability flows cleanly, Decisions are made faster at local, regional level. CFO and finance manager gains clearer control points. 2. Strengthen the finance function with a hub and spoke model. Current challenge. Finance often becomes last stop for problems rather than part of the performance cycle. Proposed improvement, finance hub. Group reporting, cash and treasury, consolidation, financial controls. The next slide is all about Dexel organisational tensions. We explore tensions between traditional structures and Dexel's purpose. Dexel needs integrated service delivery to deliver more. Traditional structures slow decision making. Dexel relies on reliability and fast issue resolution. Rigid role versus continuous improvement. Traditional structures resist flexibility. Dexel emphasises ongoing improvement. Central control versus multi-site reality. Over-centralisation limits local decision autonomy. Dexel operates across Thornton, Stockport and Cardiff. Compliance versus service agility. Strict compliance can reduce flexibility. Dexel balances safety with customer responsiveness. And the last slide is all about Dexel's purpose, to deliver more than logistics. It's continuous improvement, innovate and evolve, safety and responsibility, operate safely and responsibly, dedicated customer service, focus on customer care, best delivery experience, reliable and efficient service, add strategic value, help customers succeed. Thank you. All the slides are available for you to now look at and read, which I will hand out after this presentation is finished, and welcome any questions that you may wish to ask at the end of this presentation. Thank you.